They just took LA back by Decoy Voice.
Funny how you can finally have a peaceful protest when you just let the police go Rambo mode. As the anti-Trump No Kings protests march through the streets of downtown Los Angeles, with Elijah Schaffer showing us they're just walking around the homeless because Trump is the problem in LA, waving all sorts of confusing, long-winded signs, including...
Okay, you guys want to know like one thing that kind of confused me? Apparently they had some protests in like some really small towns. And I was like, wait a minute, how do they have a protest? It was like my mom was like, yeah, we were driving through this small town. And my mom was like, there's a protest at this town. Like we should like make sure we like, avoid the city center. And I was like, wait a minute. How is there a protest here? I was like, this is a very small town and it's all country folk. It's all country folk, heavily Trump. How is there even enough people to have a protest here? I was like so confused. But like apparently they did? How's that possible? They shipped them in? Super annoying if true, man.
Tax the rich. LA is a city of immigrants, and JD Vance ate my son. But the real issue was what they were saying.
I'm just so scared. I'm 74 years old. I worry about everything, and I don't understand why people did and voted for this person.
Including
Man, that's so, dude, that's actually so sad. Like I'm gonna be real. I kind of believe her. Like, I believe that she thinks that. Like, and the thing that's crazy is like, dude, like, I feel like, I mean, the same thing happened when Trump first became president, like he first got voted in. I had people telling me, so there were people saying that like, oh, like I'm worried about my safety. And I was like, what are you talking about? You're like, I'm afraid for my safety because Trump is like, he's going to become the president. I'm afraid for my safety. And then I had a family member's friend basically say that like, yeah, I'm Asian and I live in the countryside. I fear for the safety of like my parents. And I'm like, what? Like, what? The safety, like physical safety, like what is going on? Yeah, but the thing is like I believe them in that they were genuinely afraid, which is like I just it's so wild. I had a lot of people say if you support Trump, unfriend me right now. I mean, yeah, me too. Hell, I have a lot of friends that are a lot of people not happy with me over not being on the left, to be honest. Had my fair share of that, let's just say. And all of this, like, I fear for my safety stuff. Like, I'm gonna be real. Who's causing all the violence? I mean, am I crazy for noticing that? Like, so hold on. You guys fear for your life and your safety because Trump is president, yet like, who's the one that's like saying that they're gonna beat people up? Who's the one saying like, we're gonna beat people up? You should get punched in the face. We're gonna dox you and your families. We literally had a person get assassinated like this weekend. Like, a public official got freaking assassinated. And I'm like, Trump almost got shot like multiple times. Like, who's the one doing it? Like, am I crazy for noticing that? It's like, oh yeah, we're the nice people. We're the nice and the kind people. Dude, why do my songs keep becoming real? Like, they're jokes, right? I don't want to be Nostradamus of songs, guys. Like, I don't want it to be real, but like, I kind of make these parody songs that end up being like super real every time. Make more songs. You have them saying that like, oh, we're the nice people. We're so caring. We care so much. And then like also being the people saying we're afraid for our safety. We're afraid for like, like the other people. It's so clown. And it's like, oh yeah, you know what? We're not fascists and Nazis. And yet like they do the stuff that fascists do. Like their actual actions are like way more fascistic actually. And then they're the ones who are doing a lot of the violence. It's like, what are you fucking talking about? What the fuck? Like, oh, you disagree with me? Punched in the face. Like, holy shit. Like, what is going on? I feel like the world has gone upside down. The projection is to like levels I have like never seen before. They're not even aware of just like the sheer irony of like the things that they're saying and the things that they're doing. It's almost comedic. Like, we hate racism. Racism is the worst. You're a racist. And then they're the most racist. Am I the only one that's tired? I'm so tired. I'm so tired of this. It's so bad.
Sacrifice ourselves as human shields.
And then we gotta put our bodies on the
was that one clip from like a couple of days ago with like an immigrant woman like being against this and being like, I want to go. Well, I don't know if she was an immigrant. I think she was like a person of color, and she was just like, I just want to go to work, and they're like yelling at her.
How do you as white people feel about stopping a black woman from going to work?
Oh no, not work. I care so much.
So you don't.
Oh my god, it's so peak. How, dude? The comedy is real. It's like, it's just always funny.
Imagine showing up to this protest because social media told you Trump is a dictator. Then some lady on stage tells you you're here to be a human shield. That's some weapons grade brainwashing if you stay, as they definitely knew they'd need some human shields.
Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of immigrants that don't like illegal immigration. There's a ton that don't.
LA sheriffs came in with massive numbers, almost like a show of force parade. And Anthony Cabasa records how they brought back the armored cowboy cop cavalry, who immediately got to business pushing the protests away.
Man.
With MSNBC desperately trying to control the narrative.
So you can see, whoa, they're messing with the horses, guys. Let's go. Let's back up here. Obviously people are unhappy, Ari.
Hold on, guys. Wasn't there a clip of like Hassan at like a protest, and then he was talking about how people were looting, and he basically, I swear we talked about this, didn't we? When like Hassan said something along the lines of, I guess I'm paraphrasing because like I don't remember the exact quote, but he said something along the lines of like, you see the people looting, but you don't see them giving it to people that need it. I was just like, bro, giving it to their friends and family at the end. How does that change anything? Like, and people say I'm stupid. Oh my god, dude. Oh man. This is crazy.
I want to see horses trampling. Let's go, guys. Let's go. Whoa. We're good, Ari. We're good. Keep going. We're good.
I understand he's trying to get out of the way for his own safety, but it really seems like he's trying not to show you how these idiots are antagonizing the police horses, as they'll complain about the police shoving back this old man, but ignore how he basically forced them to do it, as these police horses are actually doing a great job at crowd control. And for whatever these horseback cowboy cops can't, they tear gas can.
The funny thing is I saw people having comments. I saw comments like this online. They tear gassed the protesters who weren't doing anything. It's like, bro, they were standing in the middle of the fucking street blocking traffic. What do you mean they weren't doing anything? It's like, people need to get out and about. You're blocking the fucking road. So yes, they're gonna shoot tear gas at you so they can push you out of the road. Duh. You're being a nuisance.
So when these activists tried to take back some of the street, the sheriffs had no issues marching right through.
Guys, I guarantee you, if they went to a park or they went to like a government building and they stood around the government building and like the little whatever the hell, like the entryway, nobody would give a fuck, honestly. Like, and they were not violent. They just went there and they said their thing. Nobody would give a fuck. But it's the fact that they're getting into people's lives by blocking the road. It's the same thing with like these climate protesters that like they glue themselves to shit and they like go in the middle of the road. It's the same thing.
I hereby declare this to be an unlawful assembly and in the name of the people of the state of California.
It's funny they were complaining about how carrying foreign flags were ruining optics. Like,
The LAPD looking like a scene from the Revolutionary War.
Back ready! Fire!
As the city eventually devolved into a combat zone. I really wonder if the mayor let local law enforcement do this 6 days ago, would they have been able to destroy any cop cars or loot any stores? As it really seems she only let the police do their thing so they don't get showed up by Trump's Marines. As a USMC stayed at the ready outside the federal building, with BG on the scene showing us them shaming the Marines. But treating them drastically differently, as they're not playing with paintballs, the Marines are carrying M27s. Interesting when you don't treat them like peaceful protesters, but idiots that just raised the city for several days, they suddenly know how to behave. As local KTLA showed us how quickly they quelled the crowds, but also stating this was following a day of peaceful No Kings protests, conveniently omitting how the LAPD reported concrete, rocks, bottles, and
Two things. One, another peaceful protest that's not actually peaceful. And two, so you're telling me they could have done this the whole time? You're telling me that that's all it took? That's crazy.
commercial-grade fireworks being flung at police officers. And I admit, unlike the riots, there wasn't any burning of police vehicles or looting of sushi restaurants. But likely
Also,
because they were...
Hold on, they had commercial-grade fireworks? Those are illegal in LA. Where'd they get them from? Just arrest them for having illegal fireworks. Duh.
Actually allowed to immediately arrest any bad actors, as several cities like San Diego had peaceful protests, even over in...
Yeah, because everybody had to go... Yeah, you know how I know it was illegal? In California, everyone went to Nevada to shoot fireworks.
Philadelphia, it was much of the same. But if all these American flags at a liberal protest seem unfamiliar, it's because somebody was paying to have them massively distributed. And they weren't the only city astroturfing their protests with pro-American sentiments. But over in Texas, they had a very different approach to the
It's like Handmaid's Tale thing is so stupid.
No Kings movement. It's always interesting that they keep referencing a fictional story about oppressing women, while
So if you don't know what The Handmaid's Tale is, The Handmaid's Tale is a book, and then there's like a TV show of it. And the show was basically about women became infertile. So a lot of women couldn't have babies, but there were a couple women that could. And so what they did in society is rich people, they basically forced that the women that could have babies to like basically become like a baby making machine, basically. That's what it was about.
Simultaneously, they're openly endorsing the mass importing of a certain belief system into this country that is incredibly oppressive to women.
It's a women's fantasy novel.
And you don't have to watch a TV show, it's actually happening. I'm not trying to say they're wrong.
Guys, what the fuck? That's not based, guys. What the fuck are you talking about?
I'm not trying to say they're right. I'm just saying it looks stupid. But at least they were peaceful, unlike in Washington, where they pelted the police vehicles driving away. And in Seattle, scared drivers actually drove through their makeshift barricades. Then in Salt Lake City, there was a shooting.
Again, it's just so early right now. Fortunately, we have everyone involved in custody, and we're going to be sorting that out. We also had a lot of witnesses, and we're talking with them.
Did anybody go to these protests and like do the thing of like, what are you protesting? Those are my favorite videos where like they go to these protests and they're like, okay, what are you protesting? What do you believe in and why? And then they don't know.
Witnesses as well.
Those are the best.
But when looking at all the protest coverage, they barely seem to acknowledge it. And over in Portland, they're angry at the coppers pointing weapons at them, when later, they actually invaded an ICE facility, injuring several officers. Which really makes you wonder if they had the Marines, would any of this be happening? As over in New Jersey, they allegedly were protesting another federal building when a riot broke out and 4 known criminals ended up escaping. And did any of these activists step back?
So wait, is this still happening today? Like, are people still rioting right now? Oh yeah, 18 hours ago. Man, holy crap.
Think, okay, maybe we're not necessarily accomplishing anything. No, they just mindlessly do whatever the mob tells them. As this No Kings rally is essentially against Trump's deportations. But as of April, he's only shipped off 100...
What do they mean, no kings? Are they saying that, like, Donald Trump is a king? You mean like that guy who got voted in? Is it...
140,000 people. And I'm not a math Asian, but I think 140
The guy who
in
got
4
voted
months,
in by, like,
multiplied by 3 to make the
more
year,
than half?
and times 4 for 4
Majority
years in office
vote?
should only make 1.6 million, which is nothing compared to how many people Obama deported without due process. And as Mays Moore shows us, he even campaigned on it, and they still voted for him.
The Bush administration has done nothing to control the problem that we have. We've had 5 million undocumented workers come over the borders.
Wait, what?
It has become an
Wait, what?
extraordinary problem. And
Wait, based? Wait, what?
the reason the American people are concerned is because they are seeing their own economic position slip away. And oftentimes, employers are exploiting these undocumented workers. They're
Wait. Wait, was Obama? Obama was like anti-illegal immigration? the God King of the Democrat Party is against.
not paying the minimum wage. They're not observing worker safety laws. As president,
Wait, what happened to all this? What happened to all this? Get
Make
the
sure
fuck out
that
of
we
here,
finally
Hillary.
have the kind of border security that we need.
Obama is basically a MAGA conservative by today's standards.
He kind of is. What the fuck?
But the left simply adores him only because nobody has told them not to, as they have zero virtues, just NPC talking points to parrot. But the big question here is if everybody should be allowed to simply walk in and become an American, with everything going on in the Middle East, with our allies' city being struck.
What the fuck?
As they continue to attack our enemies. If America gets involved in a hot conflict, do these newcomers get sent to the front line to die, or is that specifically reserved for American-born men? As we saw in the recent war in Eastern Europe, refugees that received social services for years immediately fled the country. And I honestly don't think somebody should be forced to the front lines to fight someone else's war. But when you have massive amounts of people demanding that they deserve to stay in America, so much that they're willing to destroy the city to prove their loyalty, should the need arise, are the Democrats then going to ask or even draft them to fight? And that answer tells you everything.
Man, the news cycle is crazy now. It's like so fast. Like shit just keeps happening.